stars so bright. Pull your hat down, make sure your cinch is tight. Horse is kinda snuffy, cold chill up your spine. You'll get your ass moving, son, we're burning daylight.
Howdy there, I'm Matt McKinley and we're burning daylight.
In the saddle till the job's done right.
Welcome to Burning Daylight, the only podcast for the working cowboy. Well, howdy there, daylight burners. Happy Wednesday to you, halfway through the week. It's been a little chilly here. Got some weather blowing through. Got a little bit of moisture today. Made the Little League boys practice in the snow. Didn't last very long, but we had fun. It was cold, but everybody had fun. Anyways, this is the Friggin Farm and Ranch Report for Wednesday, April 21st, 2026. And what do we got here? So we got three things that happened overnight that every cow-calf operator, every feeder, every truck driver, and every grocery shopper in this country ought to know. First off, President Trump extended the Iran ceasefire at the last minute. That is good news. And then within hours, Iran's Revolutionary Guard seized two more ships in the Strait of Hormuz, the MSC Arca and the Epaminus. They fired on a third, but UK MTO has a high activity warning out right now. The ceasefire is legally alive, but operationally it's fraying by the hour. Number two, EIA just dropped a crude inventory report showing a draw of 1.9 million barrels. The street was looking for a build of 2.2 million, so it's a $4.1 million or million barrel bullish swing in one print. Distillates drew another 3.1 million. That was 6% below the 5-year average. West Texas crude is sitting at 91 to 92 bucks a barrel, and diesel's at 5.51 at the pump. If you haven't locked in your diesel contract, today's probably the day to do that. All right. And then on the third front, live cattle printed down for a fifth straight day. June live cattle settled in at 242,875. That's down 67.5 cents. That's now 8.55 off the April 14 high mark. But the cash held at 248.02 last week. Box beef is 360 or 386.18, and select is 387.20. And that you did hear that correct. Select is still $1.02 over choice, $1.02 in the negative choice select spread. So 2 straight weeks of inversion on the choice select spread there. Packer margins are now down to a negative 194.55 ahead. The board is bleeding, and the country cattle are still selling like hotcakes. The gap can't stay open forever, but let's go ahead and get into the show. But before we do, let's... Here we go. Wrong. All right, let's talk about our friends over in Wildorado, Texas. They're at Lone Star Stockyards. Lone Star just dropped their spring catalog. Bred heifer sales running through May 30th. So if you're sitting on dry pasture and need to unload a few pairs, or if you're building a replacement pen and looking for a 3-year-old heifer to breed a Sam Angus bull that'll throw you a 70-pound calf, well, good luck. But anyways, if you got some stuff to sell, got maybe some stuff you want to buy, go check them out, give them a holler. You can call Bill Martin over there. Let me pop that up on the screen real quick and show you what they're working with. But we got a sale every Tuesday there on Adkison Road. Sale starts at 11 a.m. Central every Tuesday. They got the Texas Angus Association feeder calf sale on May 5th. And they just sold. What did I say yesterday? They sold their high seller was like 24.5, I think, almost $25,000. They had a couple others. I don't know, two of them that sold for 21,000. I think there was another sold for 20, and another one for like 21.5. Anyway, good turnout, good. Some really nice horses, it looks like. Anyway, if you got any sort of questions for our friends over there, give Bill Martin a call. He's the owner, 970-302-5834. The office over there is 806-677-0777. And then Sheldon Field is the yard manager, 806-736-0040. All right, let's get into the show. Make sure you go follow Lone Star Stockyards. Check out their website, LoneStarStockyards.com, and let them know you heard about it on the Burning Daylight podcast, specifically the Friggin Farm and Ranch Report. Also, go like, subscribe, share, all that stuff for Burning Daylight. Particularly the Substack. It's burningdaylight.substack.com. You can get all the info that I use to put this show together, plus access to the Burning Daylight report, which is my show preparation dashboard. But it is a very handy little tool. Making some market calls. Got a model that is trying to make it self-learning too. So I think it's going to be pretty cool. So keep an eye on that, and I'll let you know how we do on our daily calls. Anyways, and it's also A Man About a Horse, which is the equine intelligence app, tries to put a number on the horse market or some sort of definition, and it's pretty dang cool. All right, let's get into the board. Board was pretty bearish today. Has been for the week. All right, ugly close. June live cattle settled at 242,875. That's down 67.5 cents. Fifth straight down day. August live cattle were at 239,025. Same 67.5 cent loss on that. May feeder cattle bounced 45 cents to 359. That was the first green candle in 6 sessions on the feeder cattle, and the CME market index sits at 374.37 as of Monday. June lean hogs closed at 103.40. That was up 20 cents, so third straight day up for the hog side of things, and that's that is a one smile in the livestock complex today. On the cash cattle, the 5-area weighted average for the week ending April 19th was 248.02 live steer and 388.14 on the dressed side. Kansas showing early bids at 246 this week, and Packers are trying to break cash buck to $1 to $2 lower, but they have not succeeded yet. Okay, that was live cattle. All right, and on the grain side of things, May corn settled at 456. That was up 2 1/4. Third straight gain. May soybeans at 1171.75. That was down 2 3/4 cents. Soybean meal was flat at 325.40. Chicago soft red wheat, soft red winter wheat, May was 603.75. That was down 1 1/4 cent. And the Kansas City hard red winter May wheat was at 644.75, up 1 1/4. The hard red wheat keeps grinding on the Southern Plains drought news and despair. All right, on the energy side and the inputs, West Texas May crude is running 91 to $92 a barrel. Brent, excuse me, the Brent crude index was at 98.36 today, and diesel's at 551.1 a gallon for the AAA. Gasoline's at $4.02. On the fertilizer side, anhydrous is still at 1,088 a ton. That's the first time it's been over 1,000 since April of 2023, when the Russia-Ukraine stuff kicked off. Urea is at 847 a ton. That's up 34% month over month. DAP is at 866 a ton, and potash at 489. And on the metals, oh, I really like how I can adjust this, guys. It's pretty cool. Pretty damn cool. Okay, rates and metals. The Fed fund target range is 3.5 to 3.75. Effective rate is 3.64%. Wall Street Journal Prime is, I think it's WSJ, I think it's Wall Street Journal. 6.75% on the 10-year Treasury, 4.28. That's down a basis point. June gold's at 47.4980. That's up 30 bucks and 20 cents, 0.64%. May silver's at 77.97. That's up $1.48, almost 2% on that. Gold is recovering after yesterday's $108 flush. Silver outperforming gold on this on the session. That's the industrial plus hedge buy all in one with the silver. All right. Okay. Let's get into some more cattle deal. We got a 242.875 call out on reading the herd. The real story in the cattle today is it's disconnect between the paper and the pen. On the board, live cattle is printed down 5 days in a row. 242.875 on the June close is the lowest settle since April 1st. We are now 855 off the record on April 14th. That's a proper correction. It was about 3.4% off the top, but the cash is standing firm, 248.02 for the week ending April 19th. Kansas bids this week at 246, and the Packers want 245 and 246. Feeders are saying 249 to 250 before they'll take a load off the off the yard. We're still on this slide. So, and the cutout, this is the part that should be keeping the four Packer CEOs up at night. The choice box beef's at $386.18. That's up $2.62, but the select's at $387.20. That's up $3.59. Select is $1.02 over the choice. It's the second straight week of inversion. This is something that doesn't hardly ever happen. Historically, it's only 4 or 5 weeks in the entire daily cutout data series. So, but what that means is demand is not just for premium cuts. It's a very broad-based demand, and end cuts, middle meats, the ground product, all of it's moving at a high rate and for a high price. The Packer margin on Hedger's Edge was a negative 194.55 ahead. 3 weeks ago, the Packers were booking positive at $75 ahead. So they've swung $270 ahead in 3 weeks. That is the biggest squeeze that the Packers have felt since the 2014-2015 turn, when cattle were at previous all-time highs. And the DOJ just decided now on day 3 today with no named targets, but Texas Ag Commissioner Sid Miller publicly backing the probe is a fine time to go check their books. I'm sure it's a coincidence that they're losing money right now. For the cattle on feed, last USDA report had April 1 inventory at 11.52 million head. That's down 1% over the year. Placements down 2%, and marketing's up 1%. Slaughter last week, we had 520,000 head, 89,000 head down. Then the same week a year ago, the widest year-over-year gap on record. Packers have bled margin, and they're slaughtering fewer cattle, and the cutout is inverted upward. The DOJ is in their office, and so something has to give. Either the cash cracks lower, which is unlikely given the tight supply, or the board snaps back, and I'm going to bet on the board for that one. Particularly bearish or bullish feeling on that. Okay. It was a record day over Superior Livestock with 57,077 head sold. Feel good market story of the week. So I'm giving its own segment. Superior Livestock's Gulf Coast Classic ran Thursday and Friday, April 16th and 17th. It moved 57,077 head of cattle from 23 different states. It's 57,077 head. It's a video sale record. Last year, the same event sold 46,923 head. They're up over 10,000 head year over year. That's 21.6%. Pretty fantastic numbers there. So the prices on that. 750-pound Oklahoma steers hit for $408 a hundredweight. 500-pound Louisiana calves went for $552.50 a hundredweight. 805-pound Texas feeders were at $395 a hundred. And so they want to tell me that the country trade is not just zipping right along. Superior Livestock says the opposite, and I'll take their word for it. The next Superior sale is April 30th. Around the barns this week, we're making sure I'm not skipping any. I don't think so. Okay. Around the barns this week, the Texas Weekly USDA report on April 12th through the 18th saw 6,838 head of cattle go through the barns. Feeders were steady to $5 lower. And the panhandle drought is persistent. In Tulia, Texas, on April 9th, reports came in of 1,764 head, steers and heifers at $1 to $4 higher. 259-pound calves hit $655 a hundredweight. Over in El Reno at OKC West, we had on April 21st, that was yesterday, we had 5,867 head, steady to $4 lower on those calves. In Mitchell, South Dakota, we had 4,489 head on April 9th, projecting 3,500 plus for tomorrow's sale, April 23rd. Torrington, Wyoming on the 17th had 43 head of bred cow lot from James Hastings, plus feeders and weigh-ups. The Double S Ranch Drought Dispersal brings 150 cows on the list for April 24th. On the replacement heifer side, Springfield bred heifers went for $4,570. Pairs around 7,000. Northern Plains 800 to 900 pound replacement heifers brought $2,800 to $3,000 a piece. On the horse market side, the BBR World's Finals kicks off today at the Oklahoma City Fairgrounds. Qualifying rounds at 9 a.m. Multi-race starts at 10. Teton Ridge welcome reception at 6 p.m. It's a big weekend on the horse market side of things. The Heritage Spring Forward Sale recap, Ms. Dynasty topped the catalog at $38,000. Average of the sale was $14,000. The NRHA Derby on June 8th to 21st in Oklahoma City. That sale will include the postponed 2025 NAAC. Big fall to spring calendar shift on that one. So the horses are moving like hotcakes if they're the kinds you want. On the inputs and energy side, I think we got it over here. The big number of the day, EIA crude stocks up for the week ending April 17th. Drew down 1.9 million barrels. Consensus was a build of 2.2 million. So it's a 4.1 million barrel swing to the bullish side in a single print. Distillates drew 3.122 million, running 6% below the 5-year average. West Texas May crude trading $91 to $92 a barrel right now. Yesterday settled in at 92.13, so down a touch, mostly steady. And Brent's at 98.36. So on your forecast, if Iran keeps grabbing ships at the current clip, that's one every 36 to 48 hours. West Texas crude's at 95 by Friday, and if a ship gets set on fire, $100 is not out of the question. Diesel follows crude up within 10 days. That 551 diesel becomes 575 or 590 next month. So if you haven't locked in your contract, lock it now. And if you already did, I guess pat yourself on the back so you're not getting screwed as bad, I suppose. We covered the fertilizer already. It's high. Urea's up 34% month over month and 46% year over year. UAN 28's at 513 a ton. That's up 17% month over month. MAP's at 922 and potash at 489. That's flat month over month, but up 6% on the year. And this matters because nitrogen is priced off of natural gas, and natural gas is priced off of global energy markets, which are currently completely disrupted by the blockade on both sides, by both sides of the Hormuz Strait. Potash comes 40% from Russia and Belarus, so every single input on this list runs through a choke point that somebody else controls or is at the very least contested, whether that be the Black Sea region with the Russian potash or the oil and everything that comes out of the Strait of Hormuz. And then, of course, the Red Sea, getting pretty hairy over there with the Houthis starting to flex again. So all of that adds into your fuel prices and your fertilizer prices in particular. We'll hit that frame in a little bit. We covered the Fed fund rate and the Treasury notes and all that. And there doesn't expect any cuts coming this year. So your operating note is just what it is at the moment. All right, on the war reel, we'll cover this a little bit. Some more. The ceasefire got expanded. Trump cited Pakistan's push and what he called Iran's fractured leadership. That's the good news. The bad news came within a couple hours of that good news, and that was the Revolutionary Guard, the IRGC, seized the MSC Arca and the Epaminus, so 2 container ships in the Strait of Hormuz. They fired on a third, and UK MTO sent out a high activity warning. CENTCOM has been quiet so far. And since the blockade started on April 13th, U.S. forces have directed 27 vessels to turn around. That number does not include the 2 that were seized today or the one that we blew a hole in. So the 27 that were turned around are still operational and floating. So the 2 that were seized today, not on that list, or the one that we punched a hole in on Sunday. Crude's pricing this at $91 to $92 a barrel with an EIA draw tailwind underneath. If the ship count keeps climbing, and it currently runs about 1 every 36 to 48 hours, $95 West Texas crude by the end of the week, and $100 if something gets hit. Something gets hit that sinks. Hapag-Lloyd has a crisis team still running. India's foreign secretary called it deeply concerning, and the strait is operationally closed down even if it's legally open. The Freedom Framework read on that. Iran controls 20% of global crude flow through one waterway. That's a very major choke point, and the toll is being paid right now every time you fuel up, or every time your co-op buys urea, every time a grocery shopper pays $3.89 at the meat counter. The remedy is decentralization, domestic energy, domestic fertilizer, and the food supply chains that don't run all through one strait, or one, in this case, 4 sets of packing plants. All right, on the rural ag news, we got a few different ones today. That's policy. All right, well, we'll come. Just put that up there for now. You can look at it. The farm bill, because. All right, so on the rural America, we got good news and a harder ledger. We got 5 good stories from rural America today. Number 1, Iowa FFA wraps up its 98th annual state convention yesterday in Ames. I'm guessing it may not be fully annual with the COVID year. About 5,000 members in attendance. They elected a new 2026 to 2027 state officer team. 5,000 kids in blue corduroy who are going to run the country one day, or going to yell at their tools while they bang their knuckles on trying to loosen a bolt on a combine, if I know anything about it. Okay, Delaney Grace was crowned 2026 Miss Rodeo Oakdale, California. It's a 3rd-generation rodeo family. Her grandpa rodeoed and her dad rodeoed, and now she's taken up the mantle, and that's kind of how it's supposed to work, I guess. Pretty cool. Number 3, Iowa Valley's RC&D. Iowa Valley RC&D's new Century Farm Fellowship just launched, and they're putting 4 to 5 beginning farmer fellows on a 2-year program at Johnson County Historic Poor Farm in Amana, Iowa. The first cohort starts next March, and it's seems like that might be a cool way to onboard the next generation of agriculturists, as we say in the FFA creed. Number 4, Spectrum just wrapped an 11-county fiber build-out in western Ohio. 20,000 homes and businesses now on gigabit speed internet. Over $100 million invested, and precision ag and rural telehealth cited as the main drivers of demand there. And on the final one, the USDA's Veteran and Agriculture Program is running a 2-day webinar today and tomorrow. NRCS and FSA are co-hosting, and it's free for veterans who want to get into farming. So that's what I got for the rural America side of things today. We'll keep hammering on that as we continue through the week. Those were the good side of the stories, but there's some tough ones as well. First, we got Bradford Regional Medical Center in McCann County, Pennsylvania, closing its ER emergency room by May 17th. 35,000 people live in that service area, just lost their only emergency room. The hospital lost $10 million a year since 2021. How the hell do you lose $10 million off of sick people that like that? I don't understand. The healthcare system is truly broken. Second one is Washington State, which issued its 4th consecutive statewide drought declaration. Yakima Valley junior water rights are at 44%. The Klamath Basin with 40,000 plus acres going fallow for 4 years running. And number 3, Wisconsin and Iowa are advancing rural school consolidation bills. And some districts are at 40% capacity. The research is pretty rough on that. Rural school closures drop local population 13 to 15% and crush property values. Once a school leaves, the town usually follows behind, and it just dries up. I've seen it happen in my hometown where we do have a school, but there's hardly anybody hardly anybody goes to school there anymore. One of the local schools here is kind of the same way. So, anyways, it's a sad thing to do, but speaking from experience, if you don't have a pretty good chunk of land and an existing operation, it's pretty tough moving back to rural America to find opportunities. So that's one of the main reasons why I don't live in Baca County, Colorado anymore. All right, on the farm bill side of things, HR 7567 amendment deadline closes as of business today. Floor vote is scheduled for the week of April 27th. 350 farm groups signed a coalition letter pushing for passage. The Senate side still needs 60 votes, and so that's a bigger choke point than the Strait of Hormuz, and it has nothing to do with Lindsey Graham's alternative lifestyle. It's just 60 votes in the Senate, and I think it's 53-47 or something like that. Or maybe it might just be 51-49, something like that. It's very, very tight numbers, and not a whole lot of crossing the aisle unless it's to send money for a war. They always seem to be able to pull that one through, no problem. All right, on the DOJ Packer probe, it's day 3. There's no named targets and no new charges, but the fact that it's ongoing is pressure on its own. Texas Ag Commissioner Sid Miller publicly welcomed the probe. For context, Tyson and Cargill paid $87.5 million in a civil settlement back in January. So we'll see if anything comes about with these probes into the Packer concentration. On the animal health side of things, HPAI in dairy cattle. 5 Idaho herds are confirmed as of April 13th, the first cattle cases since December 2025. The spring migration means there's going to be some spillover on the bird flu. Commercial milk supply is safe on that end because it's pasteurized, but the milk production does take a pretty significant hit by those cattle that do develop the bird flu. On the screwworm, no U.S. cases yet, and Secretary of Agriculture Brooke Rollins visits Douglas, Arizona, to visit the crossing port on Friday the 24th. The phased reopening discussion expected soon after. Texas ports do remain closed at the current time. On the USMCA review, the first official round is May 25th in Mexico City per the USTR Greer, U.S. Trade Representative. Beef and row crop access are both on the table. And then Trump is going to have a summit with Xi Jinping in Beijing on May 14th and 15th. That has been confirmed. Ag prominently on the agenda, soybeans and beef in particular. And the CCC borrowing authority. Rollins' request to raise the cap from $30 billion to $50 billion is active in Congress at the moment. I bet they're not in a real big hurry to do anything about it, though. On the H-2A wages, 2026 cuts are in effect, and the range is now anywhere from $8 to $17 an hour. Versus the $15 to $20 an hour that they were getting last year. So H-2A are immigrant workers that temporary workers, migrant workers. A lot of them used for harvesting crops and produce, as well as sheep and goat herders. Okay, so the projected saving to farm employers is about $1.6 billion a year. On the waters of the U.S. side, proposed ruling narrowing federal jurisdiction per the Sackett decision is in the final EPA review. All right, let's close this out. Let's land this thing. We'll keep it in the middle. On this day in history, April 22nd, 1889, the Oklahoma land rush kicked off. If you ever saw the movie with Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman, Far and Away, the beginning and the end scenes are the Oklahoma land rush. 50,000 settlers took off at high noon to settle state claims 137 years ago today. It was the biggest single-day land transfer in American history, and the real reason that Oklahoma exists on the map the way that it does. April 22nd, 1970 was the first Earth Day. There was 20 million Americans marched, I guess, and the EPA was born on the same year 56 years ago. Going way back in 1509, April 22nd, 1509, Henry VIII became King of England 516 years ago. And on this day in 1993, Take Your Daughter to Work Day was made official. On the same day, Intel released the Pentium chip. Kind of a weird coincidence, but I didn't write it. I just read it. On the sports, the PBR heads to the Tacoma Dome on Friday and Saturday. The PRCA Longview Barrel Racing, Mackenzie Mays got the win. The NBA playoffs are in full swing. The Magic lead the Pistons 1-0. Game 2 is going on right now, I believe. Full slate of MLB games. The A's lost the not the rubber match. They missed out on a series sweep in Seattle, but they took 2 out of 3. Now they're headed to Texas to play Thursday. Friday. They got Thursday off. First day off in 16 games. So much needed day off. Ready for second series of the year against the Rangers. Hoping to come up with a road win there. Okay. So on the cattle board, we got bearish near term with 5 days down and counting, but the market is oversold. Cash cattle is firm at 248 is holds. On the cutout side, very bullish. The inversions into week 2. End user demand is not cracking. Corn is bullish. It's the third straight green day on the corn side. Beans are pretty well neutral. And wheat's got a bullish bias on the Kansas City hard red winter wheat. Drought during doing most of the work there. Crude and diesel is bullish based on the activity out of the Strait of Hormuz and the Middle East in general. EIA confirmed the draw. So lock your diesel contract in now before it jumps back on up. Gold and silver are bullish. There's a fear trade going on with industrial bid as well. Fed policy is neutral. Nobody is cutting anything, but also not much really going on, particularly from from Congress, either house. All right. 3, take the action items. So number 1, lock your diesel if you haven't. Number 2, watch cash trade Thursday and Friday. That's the swing number. Packers hold 247 plus live, and the board gets a short covering candle on the June live cattle. Break 246, bail on the bounce, and reevaluate at the $240 support. Number 3, don't lose sleep on Iran. Watch your ship count. Every new vessel that seized is worth a buck or two on the West Texas index, and every extension buys you a week. But other than that, there's not much you can do about it. Whatever Trumpy decides he's going to do, he's going to do, and the market will react accordingly. All right, what else we got here? I think that's all I got. So stay sharp, stay skeptical, and know who holds the keys to the choke point and who's paying the toll on that. But this has been the Friggin' Farm and Ranch Report for Wednesday, April 22nd, 2026. And I'm finishing it up a couple hours ahead of where I was this time yesterday. Tomorrow, hopefully, I can go live shortly after market close. But for now, that's all I got for you. Move your ass. We're burning daylight.
Your eyes up in the morning, beneath the stars so bright. Pull your hat down, make sure your cinch is tight. Horse is kinda snuffy, cold chill up your spine. We'll get your ass moving, son, we're burning daylight. Burning daylight. Burning daylight. In the saddle till the job's done right. Burning daylight. Well, life is just a gather, and you won't catch 'em all. But when you ride through the gate, make sure you sit up tall. I can see the horizon, it's looking pretty bright. Well, get your ass moving, son, we're burning daylight. Burning daylight. Burning daylight. In the saddle till the job's done right. Burning daylight. Burning daylight. Burning daylight.
explosion. Just walk me through the inning where you scored 4 with 2 outs.
Yeah, I mean, I think just watching us go up there, having the plan to attack and sticking to it, and just passing the bat along. I mean, I think that inning we had a lot of singles, a few walks, and that's how you score a lot of runs here. You just keep passing the bat.
And for you personally, 3 hits today, a couple doubles, and then the big bomb. What was the difference for you tonight?
You know, just try to get my foot down, bit a little late on the fastball. Got 2 hits on the fastball tonight. Got some good pitches to hit.
Sagano tonight looked really good, especially with the slider and the split.
Yeah. I mean, we came in with the plan, and he executed really well. And loved the way he threw the ball today. Came out in attack mode.
I gotta ask you though, challenge-wise for you, in the 5th inning to get Lariano strike 3, you've been very successful about it. What gives you the confidence to make that call?
Just kind of the feel thing. 3-2 counts are big counts, so I'm going to take my shots in those counts.
We're going to enjoy the party inside. Back to you.
Thank you so much. There's a party inside.
There usually is.
Ooh, I've seen some flashing lights in there
Yeah,
sometimes.
music gets a little bit loud. They do play Sandstorm, which
Let's go.
it was my walk-up song at one point. So I get real excited when I get into the clubhouse. I'm like, where's my bat?
They're doing it in honor of you.
Yeah.
Hey, when you look at Hunter Goodman's night, the 3 extra bases, we know what he can do with the bat, right? He won a Silver Slugger award last year. The challenges as well, and the defense, what he's able to do with his fitness,
He's the heartbeat of the team, and typically when he goes, the offense goes. Tonight, I love that he accomplished what he wanted, getting that foot down. He got a couple of knocks on the fastball. You see the whole field. Basically, when you're a doubles guy, you got to go gap to gap, but he's also got the power. 6 home runs this season, 94-mile-an-hour fastball. Got that foot down, positive in left center field seats. I do think the ABS challenges are enormous when it comes to Hunter because it's a momentum swing. I mentioned in the pregame, 7 of them have been in 3-2 counts, been a strikeout, and ended an inning. Well, now it's 8 because he did it again today with Loriano. Those pitchers have to absolutely love the fact and trust him to make that call. And when he does and ends an inning, that's that momentum swing.
yeah, he has been, what was the number we said in
15
pregame?
and 19, which makes him 60 and 20 now.
Yeah, I mean, he was around 80%.
That is 80%.
We don't do that. That's not
That
good.
is 80%.
Mom, you watching? Okay, so we say the team had 15 hits overall. Hunter Goodman had 3. A great night for him, but that means 12 hits had to come from other people. Every player in the lineup tonight.
Everybody
without sounding stupid, what is